Hello 9IG, this is Mujahid Sartawi and welcome to the computer science class of 13th of April 2020. Today we will continue chapter 8. We want to go to page 100. In the previous class we talked about the some of the security threats, phishing and farming. I hope you understand them. Today we will continue with the other security risks. Here we have two other security risks we want to talk about today. The first one is war driving, and the second one is spyware or key logging software. So I want you all to open your books on page 100, and also today I will give you just brief about a new term, which is cookies. So let's get started with the first security threat for today, which is war driving. The name is maybe weird a little bit for you, so let me explain it to you. First of all, the name of the threat is war driving. Let's read the definition of this threat. It's the act of locating and using wireless internet connections illegally. It only requires a laptop or other portable device, a wireless network card and an antenna to pick up wireless signals. So in this threat, someone else who is not authorized to use your internet or your Wi-Fi signal or your wireless connection can interfere or can take or use illegally your network. So most likely this name came from this meaning. Somebody maybe outside, he or she is driving the car and try to steal your network while he's or she's outside, and that's why we have this term war driving. As if there is a war on a wireless war, somebody is driving the car and try to get the signals from the neighborhoods or maybe some networks on the streets or maybe in houses. So, what this threat can do, it simply it is possible to steal user internet time. That means allocation by downloading large files and movie files. Let's say that someone doesn't have an internet connection and wants to steal um, your your bandwidth, your internet. So this guy simply by using the some software, special software, can download some big files or maybe movies or maybe critical files by using your own internet, and this is an illegal action, as we said before, and without maybe your attention. You won't know that somebody is downloading or maybe using your internet. And also, it's possible to hack into the wireless network and steal users' passwords and other personal details. So this guy or the hacker can even get into your network, your personal network, and everything connected to it. Let's say that your network is connected with the you have some devices connected to your wireless network like laptops, mobile devices, or anything, so all of these devices can be threatened by this action or by this hacker. So what to do? We need first of all to use of wired equivalent privacy WEP encryption. So this is a very high level of encryption. And I mean by encryption is scrambling or giving making the data scrambled, or this is a way of hiding data so that the hackers cannot understand what the data is, and also protect use of wireless device by having complex passwords before the internet can be accessed. So one of the important things is not to put a very easy passwords for your network, for your wireless network. So if you put, for example, the password for your network as 12345, it means that the hackers will find it very easy to connect to your network. The last thing is to use something called a firewall to prevent outside users from gaining access. The firewall comes in two different ways, or two different versions. We have the hardware version and the software version. It protects your personal network or your home network, wireless network, from hackers or from the war driving. Now we want to let Professor Mister to explain war driving for you. We'll use a tool.
You may
Uh,
not realize it, but
let's
people who are
watch
driving
this
down the
video,
street could
and
be
we will
gathering
use the tool,
information
which is
about your
Wiggle
network.
tool.
This
So
is
let's
called
listen.
war driving, where you have a Wi Fi monitoring system, a GPS, and you're using some type of system to get around and gather information about all of the wireless networks that are out there in the world. Since you're in a vehicle, you can gather a lot of information across a very large area in a relatively short period of time. You can passively begin monitoring what wireless networks may be between home and work, and you can examine those results to see exactly what networks may be out there. There are plenty of ways to gather this information for free. There are utilities that you can download and put onto a laptop or a mobile device, and a lot of this information can be consolidated in centralized databases. A good example of this would be the one at Wiggle, WIGLE.net.
Okay, so you can go to this link, wiggle.net, and we will try it today.
And of course, people have extended war driving by putting monitoring systems on bicycles or even on drones that can fly over very large areas.
Yeah.
Here's the results of war driving. You can find this at wiggle.net.
Okay, so on wiggle.net, you can see maps like these, which contains all the wireless networks in neighborhoods and in streets and in different cities. So all of the data here is collected by some people by using some special sensor, maybe while they
WIGLE.net,
are
and
driving
they
their
have
car.
consolidated all of these war driving efforts into a set of Google Maps. And you can see very clearly exactly where all the wireless networks might be in.
So all of these dots that you can see, and we will see after just a while, are wireless networks in a certain area. So we have here like a Google map, and we have all the location of wireless
your
networks.
geographical area.
Okay, so let's see this tool. Let's go to wiggle.net, and let's go to navigate this. And I want to try. I want you guys to try this. Let's go to this city. We are in the United States. You can see here the latitude and longitude. And we want to go and zoom in until we go to some place in here. This is an urban area. Okay, now all of these dots shows special networks. For example, this, let me zoom in again. Okay, can you see the names? These are the names of networks. For example, this person has a network which is X finite, Y Wi-Fi, and this is what? What is this? This is the MAC address of the Wi-Fi adapter of this person. So you can go and try this website and see the danger of war driving as a threat. So this is all for the war driving, and let's go to the the other threat, which is spyware or key logging software. Simply, the spyware from its name, It is software that gathers information by monitoring key presses on the user's keyboard. So whatever you type on your keyboard, the information is going to be gathered and it will be sent back to the person who sent the software. So this is very dangerous kind of threats. It gives the originator access to all data entered using a keyboard on the user's computer. The other thing that this logging software or spyware can do is that the software is going to be enable or able to install other spyware, read cookie, yani, it means to read all the websites that you entered and all the data entered to the user's default web browser. So you and all of the actions, whatever you do on your browsers, will be monitored uh, by this spyware software. So how to protect ourselves from these threats or spyware or logging software? Simply use anti-spyware software, and it comes with most of types of antiviruses. The user should always be alert and look out for clues that their keyboard activity is being monitored. So you have to be aware of the things you are typing, and you have to always be aware of what you are doing, especially when you are typing a password or when you are logging into a certain website. The last thing is using a mouse to select characters from password, etc. So this is another way of protecting rather than typing them. So yeah, instead of typing your password, you can use your mouse in order to select the characters of the password, and it helps to reduce the risks. So this is all about the threats, and we now want to talk about cookies. It's a new term. A cookie is a packet of information sent by web server to a web browser. Let's say that I'm opening this web browser. This is a web browser. Cookies are some information or data that um, can be sent from the web server into your web browser, and there is a purpose of that, of course. Cookies are generated each time the user visits a website. So when I click on a website, for example, these files or these cookies will be downloaded into my web browser in order to register the entry or to save the the information about the person who entered and preferences and lots of things. So sometimes or every time a user visits the website, cookies will have collected some key information about the user, like preferences, as I said before, maybe the keywords or the topics that this user is searching for, and they are able to carry out user tracking, okay, and also maintain user preferences. For example, when a user buys a CD or a DVD or something from the internet, the cookies will follow the or track this person and sends some advertisements to this person and so on. So before I finish this class, I want to remind you that you have two different worksheets or homeworks, and the deadline for submitting the two worksheets is in 14th of April 2020. So you have worksheet number 5 and you have worksheet number 6. So please, all of your answers should be submitted on the school's portal. And see you next time. This is all for today. Goodbye.